Hello and welcome. I'm going to be running down the patch notes for you very quickly in a very important fashion. We've been playing it quite a lot. As you can see, me and my 12 friends in here are very experienced at the game as of yet. So we're going to run these down for you if you're newish or unsure about things. Anyway, getting to the important stuff. The siege engine no longer takes damage while traveling. Oh, what? Okay, so, like, how is this going to change the game, you ask? Well, there's not going to be any fighting. Ever. In the middle. Like, once the siege engine happens, everybody's just going to run back to base. Or they're going to stay and die.
Unless you want to set up for picks. Like, unless you think you can do a pick strategy where you can grab somebody.
Right, unless you can, like, kill all of them before they get to your base. But they'll still spawn at the spot where the siege spawned, so...
At least, like, you won't have people split on the siege and, like, players, so, you know, you won't get it. A lot of times you get nothing done because people are all kind of doing different things. So this way, at least people will do one thing.
Well, at this point, then they'll just focus on players while they're going in, and there won't be any point to hitting the siege. It won't force the people defending to choose. Before, you'd have to choose, do we hit the siege or do we hit the players?
I feel like
it's
that
only
really
players.
hurts.
That's all you have.
Yeah.
I think
Go ahead, Freight.
I just feel like it really hurts. Like there is no fighting. I mean, the fact that you can't like decoy them back. I mean, get 2 or 3. Like we were just playing Me Vengeful and the guys. Like we held the first door siege. That's like hard to do.
It is.
But the only reason we were able to do that was because we could damage it at the start, like of the fight, and one of us was able to kind of get 2 or 3 off of the escort. So I mean. That was really nice, but like you're never gonna defend the first door. I mean, you're always gonna lose the first door.
it honestly sounds like it's gonna lose. You're gonna always lose the door to a new siege tank. What I'm confused about is, will it still be immune to damage while inside traveling in the base?
No,
Or
once it hits the
outside
door, once it hits the first door, regardless of whether that door is up or not, it loses its shield.
But I'm just going by the wording says it's while traveling.
Right, so I mean, I really, really hope they don't
Once it stops,
have it get
If
an
it's
immunity
in the
shield
base,
while it goes from your
you
first
get
door to
the
your second door. That'd be a
shield.
bit silly.
No, I think once
I
it passes through the Vengeful said that once it passes through the first gate, it like drops its big
Yeah,
shield.
that's what I said. Is that as soon as it hits the first gate, the position where it would start shooting the first gate, it drops its shield. And then you can start doing full damage to it, which you're at first doing half damage to it. Some people say, you know, you're doing double damage to it. It's just whatever. So, that's that.
I think
So the siege engine thing's a pretty big deal. That's going to be huge, and we'll probably discuss that a little bit more shortly after we go through some of the other things. Matchmaking has undergone several changes, so you should get better matchmaking. Hopefully, you probably will wait a little bit longer. Temple Ruins, you added a new route for players to leave the base. This can be found at the left of the spawn area. I guess would also be the right of the spawn area when you are on that side of the map. I guess it's a new way for them to get out to the left point. Assuming you're on the normal side where everything's like going out to the left. I guess this would be your left. There'll be some other way to go through there. Anyway, various obstacles have been removed throughout the map. Let's see, added various new obstacles throughout the map. Okay, and apparently they did not remove the random unseen ones. Maybe they fixed them. We'll have to try that out. Now includes randomization that occurs on the points. Each point will change slightly each time it spawns, making each encounter unique. This can be new cover points appearing or entrances or exits being closed off temporarily. So, they're basically making the points RNG.
Well, it sounds like they're going to add
on
terrain.
Temple Ruins now. That's
Yeah, on
only
Temple Ruins.
Yeah, it just seems like they're going to cut off pathing on certain.
Yeah, like it's going to be, the
door.
doors on the right are closed, this entrance, and now they're open on the left. Now they're open on the middle. Now they're open on the right. Just for, easy example. So, you can't just,
Balance if it's random.
I guess, surround them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're gonna have to take different routes, and people are gonna have to stand in different areas, and it's gonna be a little weird. It's just gonna be something to get used to. I mean, I don't feel like that's that big of a deal. It's just different areas.
It's gonna be different. That's something we're gonna have to find out about how it affects us. Updated the presentation of Death Recap. That's nice. Updated minimaps properly display map layout and objectives. That's nice for other stuff. Oh, bots draw cards when they level up in practice mode, so now you will die even faster to the unmissable Grok that is shooting you. If a target takes no damage, it'll say immune instead of not, I guess, saying anything, or saying the damage that you should be hitting it for.
Hey, then the jump penalty as well. Then wasn't it supposed to be something for Fernando?
Oh yeah. So that thing where they removed the jump height penalty, that's a big deal because like on this with the siege thing, when it's pushing, you can jump in front of it and block the bullets with Fernando, and he's super tanky and has a lot of HP, right?
Yeah.
The way they countered that was when he jumped up, he could only jump that high to block it once. But they just got rid of that, so now every Fernando player is going to stand in front of the thing and jump
Siege.
over and over and over and over and block every shot until he dies.
Honestly, it's a big
Which is
nerf to Pip, too,
pretty
because
strong.
one of the ways you can avoid his shots is jumping above his area damage, I guess.
Yeah, that's also true.
And when you're Pip on Pip, for instance, it's just whoever jumps last gets the win, because he'll, you take that first jump and you're like, whee, and then the second one, this is not counting his escape, but just like the regular jumps. So you will no longer have a jump penalty. Basically, you'll jump the same height every time you jump. So I don't like that because I don't like jumping in. Jumping's annoying. People want to jump all day long in games to try and avoid being shot, and it's just
It makes you easier
dumb.
to be hit.
No, I swear it makes me faster when I hit the spacebar.
Yes, it does. All right, so HP drops can no longer be collected if you're at full health. This is a nice, basically quality of life thing. The things that will counter that will be if you have cards like Soul Collector and Rehabilitation that rely on HP drops to, like you get on Barrack, you have the card that if you pick up more, you get, Buck, you get more tanky, you get more out of combat healing the more drops you pick up. It's also on Barrack too. Something similar. And so that will be the type of card that will override that, but otherwise, if you don't have one of those cards that relies on drops, then you will not be able to pick it up if you're at full health, which is fantastic because there's many times that I've run over a drop just because I killed them, and the person behind me who I'd prefer to get it would have gotten it, except I ran right into it before I noticed. So, updates. Let's go right down to the nice stuff. Oh, mount cooldown has been reduced from 5 seconds to 1 second. That's enormous. So if you get shot off your horse, you can remount it in a second, not 5. This is going to make chasing useless.
Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty stupid.
It's dumb. Like after they push the stuff into your base, and then you guys take down the siege, and you go to push them back out and pick them off and get ready for the next setup and the next point. You shoot them, they have to wait a whole second before they can remount again. So they're just going to be jumping on their mount constantly. Granted, there is that wind-up time of them jumping on their mount. Still, having a 5-second cooldown alleviates them for if you just got that one shot off and you're like, yes, I hit him from a freaking mile away, I can go chase him down. Nope.
The issue I have with that is the 5 seconds. Usually, you will get the escape out of it. So if you randomly snipe someone, like as Cassie with your Q, then obviously they just have to wait 1 second and remount. You don't get anything out of it.
Right. They don't dodge away. They don't jump roll. They don't waitlist. They don't do anything like that.
It would make Ruckus a bit stronger though, because he has such a reliable way to get them off their horse.
Yeah, I mean he can keep poking them down. Yeah, that's very true. With his constant, and same thing with Grok. I mean, he just points his laser pointer at people and they fall off their horse. As long as they're in range. Alright, so that was the last of that. We're going up to champion balance update and fixes. Barrack turret increased damage from 185 to 215?
That's
Pretty big. That's like what, 30?
Yeah.
Why?
Damage spike.
Yeah, it's 30.
Reduced rifle refire rate from 175 to 1.5. So it slowed down its shots, but made each shot hurt more.
Damage. Yeah.
The corner
I'll do the
barrack
math
really
on that
hurts
real
it, though?
quick.
Demon,
No,
you're the
it's actually
barrack
shoots
player. What do you
faster.
That's kind of disgusting.
Oh yeah.
That's I would consider that more of a buff because people
It is.
tend to notice they get hit by a barrack turret and then they roll out of the way. Now it's going to make it that first shot that you get dinked for, you're going to take a ton of damage from it, comparatively speaking. Even if it doesn't shoot you as often. And he does get cards that increase the turret, doubles the turret's attack speed and stuff like that, and that's going to make
And
his
range,
turret just
yeah.
nasty. And then rifle, they reduced his damage from his rifle from 337 to 300, which it's good, but it's still, we'll have to see what the cards have. I'll hold my judgment until I see Inflame on the cards and that has been reduced. Because it's not necessarily specifically the base damage on his rifle that's the big problem. He does do a lot of damage with that rifle. I will shoot people down all day long, and I love to get in shooting fights with Cassies and stuff, and anybody, honestly. If you get the barricade cooldown, and you can throw your barricade out almost like 2 to 3 seconds after it's off cooldown, you will win 99% of your fights if you can jump back and forth between your barricade. Because they try and jump back and forth with you, and it's like playing damn... What was it called? Chicken? No, chicken. In baseball.
Chicken.
Where you run down the man. Can't believe I forgot that.
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway.
Where someone jumps, but you gotta chase them. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what it's called.
So. It was I should know this because it was in Sandlot, and I love that movie. Anyway. Pip. Weightless.
We can Lex it too.
Weightless. Reduced duration from 3 seconds to 2.5. Reduce vertical or forward acceleration by 20%, reduce vertical acceleration by 20%. So basically they made it to where you can't get up on the base. Being in a pickle. Thank you, Captain Awesome. Pickles. Yes, pickles. When you get the guy in a pickle.
It's pretty difficult on Pip to do it. It's
So,
easier on Ruckus, which is pretty stupid.
Pip's not going to be able to get up in bases anymore if they reduced it by 20%.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, he barely got up on there as it was.
Yeah, you're hardly able to begin with, so...
So yeah, with that, he's not going to be able to be up in your base. It'll only be... which they didn't change anything to... They didn't do anything to Buck in that, or in regards to his jump, and they didn't do anything to Ruckus, so those will be the only 2 people that can get in your base. Buck can jump from a mile away, land in your base, and Ruckus can just fly up there. So they did that, which is a reasonable thing. He was a little too squirrely when you try to get on him. I honestly don't think that was really where the issue was needed. Captain Awesome, thank you for the follow. I should move that while I'm doing this, though. Put it over there. Yeah. So, I don't think that was too much of the issue was where he was. The issue is a lot of his cards. Potion Launcher reduced damage from 283 to 250, so not quite as heavy hitting. And reduced projectile speed from 185 to 160, so you're going to have a better shot at getting out of its way. I don't think it's going to be too much that people will really, really notice. But it's going to make it to where he can't plop you down from a mile away as easily. He's going to have to predict you better. That's about that for Pip in the general base stats. Skye, they removed her reload on Skye, so they just gave her a huge boost. Huge boost.
I mean, it's kind of like every other character doesn't have a reload. I mean, no one else has to reload. Like, why was she supposed to reload? And in the middle of fights, it hurts. Like, reloading.
It would die. It would get you dead.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be done. Like, you're like, oh, I ran out of 30 rounds because I missed. It's like, shit.
I mean, there was a bug with that where you could hop on your horse and jump off and you would instantly be reloaded. So if you had your horse off cooldown, you could just pop it and jump right off the second you hit it, and it would reload you.
That makes Skye crazy.
You could work around it, but it's better that they just removed it. All of the other characters, nobody else has a reload, so it's a very annoying learning curve when you're playing her for the first time, and you're like, oh, I have to reload. Oh my god, I gotta remember to reload. It's versus in a regular, like, Counter-Strike, any games where you reload all the time, you're just in the habit of, you're out of combat, reload. Stuff like that.
I think my issue is if they're gonna not have that reload mechanic for Skye, then they need to tone down her numbers. Because obviously she does quite a bit of damage, even for an assassin, like, she needs to be toned down. So, I mean, it's a start, but she's gonna be totally strong.
Yep.
So she'll be, if it was like a ranking system, or, ranked or anything like picks and bans, she would be first pick, first ban every game.
Yeah.
The invisibility alone, because there's no way to counter it.
There's never been a counter, even for Smite.
She has really good damage. Like, this is it.
Her
It's
poison
insane
darts right now, like, you have to stop to reload, stop shooting your poison darts. But the thing is, when now that the reload's gone, she can just keep shooting those poison darts into you, just over and over and over.
Oh
and
yeah, there was a
over
ton
and
of times
over.
I'd pop poison bolts at like 15 rounds, not even realizing it,
Yeah.
and then it's like the cooldown's still ticking. It's like, oh, I could have got a full 30 off. It's like, damn, I just popped it because I could do some extra damage, and then I'm missing out on like half my cooldown. I mean, it's the numbers might have to get turned down, but it's like Grok. Like you have chain lightning, you just hold
Yeah,
left
it's
click.
nice.
I agree, Wag. I agree, Wagner Warrior. Sky is still a pub stomper. If you play against a competent team, she's going to have trouble getting in the backline because everybody's going to be looking for her. What Sky does, like Loki and Smite, is the fact that she takes advantage of disarray and the fact that nobody's really paying attention to where she's at, and she just disappears, and then she reappears killing somebody, and then she disappears again, and just, stays out of sight, out of combat, and then looks for her opportunity to go in there. However, the problem with that is you still leave your team 4v5 because you're sneaking around places. So it can have bad times, but a good Sky will get there before it becomes an issue.
She also has a crazy bomb build. Like she has some cards that make her bombs like insane and like the extra stealth speed.
Yep.
So I mean, she could be completely stealthy if she gets the right cards. Like you can't outplay this guy because you just don't know where she's at. If she stealths in, time bomb stealths out, it's like, oh, what are you gonna do? Where'd she go?
I played a couple of good teams that are really smart about saving their their leaps and their speed and their dashes and stuff for the sky bomb. They just I've seen it happen where I go in, I drop a bomb, and everybody just scatters real fast. On the team.
Oh, I totally save unless I'm chasing down people or something like that. If I'm on point, I'm saving my escape for an eventual sky bomb if there's a sky in the game.
As a Fernando player, oftentimes you'll see a Fernando not use his shield till Sky Bomb gets popped, and then as soon as it's to explode, you pop the shield, and it takes down like a quarter of your shield.
Oh,
or you just dash out of it.
As a Grok, you just use your Ghost Walk. You wait till the thing's about to pop down, you just Ghost Walk and you're immune. I mean,
that's another thing that I would like to see for Dr. Mosley saying, Sky Bomb should not hurt people through their walls or other view obstacles. Like, if Barrack throws up his barrier in front of the bomb, then everybody behind it should be alright. That'd be a huge nerf to her, but...
It would be a huge nerf to her, too.
It would shit on Sky.
It would make more sense, though.
True,
Yeah.
but like I said, it still would be. It would make it probably very unplayable, especially against a good team, which is majority of the teams usually will have Buck or Fernando, mainly from Fernando. So
it does make sense, but there's a lot of shields and a lot of walls, right? You got.
I've been hit by bombs outside of the line of sight, Wag. But through terrain, I don't think it gets you. We'd have to specifically test that. I haven't tested that particular thing yet.
It does.
No, it doesn't. It does not. I can confirm that. If you're standing on top of the Oasis map, like that little catwalk right there, she has a bomb on the ground. The little circle will go over you, but you won't take damage from it.
Yeah. Okay, so that covers Sky. I would like to get to the guy's face that I am sitting on. Buck! Oh, Mr. Buck. Mr. Buck. Increased movement speed from 320 to 335. So very, very, very slight increase in movement. And that's going to be quite nice, because he, honestly, he felt pretty slow. He had a tough time moving around. So, shrapnel cannon, reduced accuracy from 85 to 70, so he's become more of a in-your-face person. They also reduced the range from 100 to 50, so they completely threw him in the dumpster with that range. And then increased damage per projectile from 40 to 50, so they gave him a huge damage increase. 40 to 50, he gets 10 extra damage per shot. All Buck's going to do is leap in your face and crack shots in whatever he can do. However, the one thing I hope they did address was an issue where if somebody is literally in your face, like on top of you, your shots will not hit them, even if you're shooting at them.
Yep.
Because your gun will originate the shot from behind them. It's an annoying problem. Because I'll be fighting somebody right in my face. I'm like, oh my god, I should be doing 8 million damage to them because I have a shotgun and they're in front of me. But somehow it's like, I'm giving you a hug and you just can't shoot me with a shotgun, but you'd hurt yourself. It'd be very bad. That's the short answer to that. So, with Buck, they gave him a bit more movement. They made him much less ranged and much more, you have to be in their face. So it's more like a Fernando treatment for it. He is very much going to be on the point now. I'm worried that he's going to lose much more favor because he's got to be really far, or he's got to be really close to people. So
I think it's a buff, to be honest.
Yo, look at the cards. They like keep going down, Demon. Like,
all right,
once you
we'll
actually
we'll,
see
we'll
the
find out.
cards-
They
yeah,
did some
we'll
stuff with
get-
the card art, which is great. Let's look up the cards.
Yeah.
This is cards have now been correct. Cards now correctly show their cooldown on the card based on their rarity. That's nice. Barrack, new combat repair, common.
Yeah.
Standing nearby your turret heals it for 125 health every second. With the new buff they just gave to his turret, that is enormous. And the fact that it's
Yeah,
common, that makes Barrack overpowered as hell.
That's
Yeah,
Vulcan's
If you get combat repair and you don't move from your turret, you will not move from wherever you are. It will have a shorter, yes, it will have a shorter or longer time shooting between shots, but all you have to do is keep shooting them, and they can't pay attention to the turret as much as they have to pay attention to you because you still do more damage than the turret.
The damage change is 323 per second to 322 per second. So that's like nothing.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
so 323 a second for the turret or for Barrack is gun?
Barrack's turret.
Oh, okay.
I still think it's gonna be, once he gets his cards and his turret can do a shit ton of damage, it's gonna become.
Oh,
like,
they made him a turret player. They're like,
Yeah.
you stay by your turret, you
Yeah.
fucking shield it, and you let this thing be overpowered, and you let it do the work that you needed to do.
All right,
Yeah,
so
but you can
let's
still
see
be
what they did to
carrying on
Buck
the play.
based on his new stuff. Because they basically made him a short range, in your face kind of guy. So he's got new Galvanized, Epic. Recovery heals 20% more for each enemy nearby when activated, so be on the point. And activate Galvanize. When you hit your recovery, you'll heal 20% more.
That's gonna
So
make
does
him
that
more than
heal 20% more per what?
On top, I think.
Probably
I think
health
on top of
orb.
the-
On, I guess it's on recovery, so it's 20% more of
Yeah.
recovery's base. Okay, yeah. It's just the way it is worded there. It confused me. I'm sorry!
It might
New,
look like
Unsettled,
it's a
Cataclysm. When spawned, Cataclysm slows all targets in range by 40% for 3 seconds. Holy poop. So his wall will now slow you if you
That's
have
gonna
this
be
card.
annoying.
That's going to be annoying. It didn't say if it's epic, common, or rare. So I don't know. New Stomping Grounds, Legendary. Heroic Leap. Okay, it's called Stomping Grounds. It's a legendary card for Heroic Leap. You may leap again for 4 seconds after leaping. Okay, you can leap twice.
You leap twice.
And the leap bleeds nearby enemies on landing for 400 damage over 3 seconds. Holy sh!
No. That's
Scuba
stupid.
style?
Yeah, that's easy.
That's
That's
disgusting.
But it
I
is
can jump
legendary.
twice
Keep that in
and then I
mind.
can bleed everybody. It's like Pip's Weightless with Acid Cloud, except
Mm-hmm.
now you have the guy that really wants to be in your face. In your face.
See, but just keep in mind that is a legendary. That'll be it when you
Yeah.
hit level 5 and the game's super late. Just keep
No,
that.
it's a legendary, not an epic. Which one's the last one? Legendaries or epics?
Legendary. Legendary's
Legendary is scrub.
You
Okay.
nerd.
It's the yellow
That's
ones.
going to create some balance.
I'm
if
sorry, I
one's
just
actual
look
card
at yellow
that's
borders and that's all I care about. So yes, legendary. It's not too bad for a legendary, but it's still pretty disgusting.
It's a temporary buff to him, I think.
I will agree with what Scythe said. Buck's Leap is notoriously hard to
Glitchy?
do if you're not like, I'm in an open field and I wish to jump that way. If you're anywhere near any sort of map geometry, you can hit it and be like, oh, that's too bad. Or you jump straight up in the air. There was several times in this particular game that I jumped and I kind of went like in this super rainbow basketball shot style. I was like, why the hell did I just do that? I wanted to have my woo, and I have no particular reason. It's like it just randomly decides we're gonna jump far or we're gonna jump high. I wish there was a really good way of telling it. I mean, maybe it's based on exactly where I'm looking, and it just isn't
Maybe.
that relevant yet. Maybe it's where you're looking on the
I'm
ground.
assuming That's probably what it is. I assume.
I'll have to test it some more, but I'm pretty sure it's if you're looking straight, you'll jump further. If you're looking up, you'll jump up. But I know I've been standing beside the wall looking up and done my epic leap and just been like into the wall. And I was like, what the hell? Damn it. That was the first time I tried to get up on the wall. And then after that, I tried jumping from a distance. So it's based on your mouse direction. We'll have to go test that and make it sure for sure. I have my fair share of games with Buck. Alright, so that was Stomping Grounds. Exhilarate. Heroic Leap. You take 15% less damage for 3 seconds for each enemy nearby when landing from your leap. So that one's not anything special. It doesn't say legendary, etc. So it should be, I guess, a common card. That's good, especially for the fact that he's going to be now in-your-face character. So it's just a necessary card for him at the second, I would say. So they turned Armor Piercer from common to rare, and Acid Rounds from common to rare, which is another good set of moves, because Armor Piercer and Acid Rounds is pretty high damaging in early stages. I mean, like, in here, I got Acid Rounds really early, and it did a lot of damage. Wait. You have to jump then aim your mouse? Ooh. I see. Okay. We'll try that. Alright, on to Cassie. He had several cards changed. Battle Focus. Increased rarity from common to epic, thank God. And reduced attack speed from 50 to 30%. It seems kind of silly now that they gave... I mean, it's a good change for her, but it's a bad change for her. Cassie gets blown up pretty quick, but if she's got Battle Focus and she's got Lifesteal, then yes, she's almost unkillable.
They pretty much just
I'm
moved
so
all
upset
their cards
because
up.
that's my favorite card.
Yeah,
That's
they
all
just
did.
like
They
moved all their
moved
cards
all
up.
their
Battle
cards.
Frenzy, increased rarity from common to rare. Big Game, which is you do. That was one of the favorite ones I like to get. You do 5% of the. It's chin size for Cassie. You do 5% of their max health, which is good. They made that to epic.
Ooh,
Battle
they moved it
Frenzy.
up
Which one was
twice.
Battle Frenzy?
Battle
Yeah,
Frenzy is
every
every
10
10
shots
that
that hit a
you
target, your your attack speed goes up by 75% for the next 5.
Good.
It's like Audacity for Apollo.
I didn't really like that card much anyway, so it's okay.
Actually, it's literally Audacity.
It's literally Audacity, yes. Okay, so it's basically Audacity. Nice. Which is Apollo if you don't play Smite. Extraction increase from common to rare, liftoff, common to rare, sniper, common to rare, megaton. Updated description to correct values. Good.
Megaton's a pip card.
It says it under Cassie.
Well,
No,
Megaton's
it's
a
for
Cassie card.
No, it's for Cassie. It's 60% radius for
Oh, yeah,
and
that.
200% knockup
For her.
damage for blast shot.
Yeah, or blast shot.
I think you're Graviton.
Yeah, you're thinking
you're
of
right,
gravitation
yeah,
or whatever it is. The one that increases Pip's area of effect damage, which it's kind of the same thing. Anyway, on to Fernando. Pancakes, would you like to take this one? Since you are our resident Fernando professional.
Yeah, sure. All right. So Incinerate is damage card. It's you do 320 damage off your fireball, like dot damage. It's burning damage. They moved it up from common to rare, which is probably good because early game Fernando did a lot of damage if he got that. Lance Strike is the same thing. If you get too close to him and you hit him, he does 300 damage. And if you're on the point and someone runs at you and Fernando hits you, that's 300 damage you take. You have to back off. Else Fernando's just going to kill you. So those are good changes. And Titan's Rage is the card that a few tanks, I think him and Butt can get that one if I'm not mistaken. As it says here, health required per damage 2% from 250 to 350. Which basically means like it's like a buff, yes, kind of. That card is good if you got a bunch of cards that give you a lot of health. So say you got Headstrong, which gives you 300 HP, and like Fortress, which is plus 350. That's a lot of damage if you get that card. So basically what they did to Fernando was just make him go from this super high damage dealing tank that could just burst a Cassie in half a second to now he's what I'm guessing they intended him to be is this guy who sits on the point and just has a shield up no matter what and protects his team.
And helps his flames basically to help clear out those
Yeah,
people that want to
clear
sit
out
there and run around you for 5 weeks.
Yep, pretty much. That's basically all they did to Fernando. He'll still be as good as he was, I think. Just not as much damage.
There's one thing about the Fernando that's missing now. There's no mention about Fortress at all.
Yeah, they're not. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, what was it? The bug with Fortress? Is that what the one?
Yeah,
the
Fortress.
armor cards.
It's the card. It's the armor card thing.
Right.
Because they haven't said what's an armor card and what's not. So right now you're not getting a buff for anything.
Right. So you get Fortress, which gives you 350 health per armor card. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
Per armor
And so you
card.
only get it once because nothing else is classified as an armor card.
Mm-hmm.
It might be in the
which
background,
made
to
that
be
card
honest.
like real bad.
Yeah, which makes
See,
it
but
nobody ever.
if it's
Or
in the
you shouldn't pick
background,
that. It's the one that
not
looks like
like
Kraken.
no.
That's true.
Yeah, just don't get the Kraken.
Don't get the Kraken until they fix it. Unless, of course, somewhere down this we find out that they actually made things have that
I
requirement.
didn't see it when I left.
I think my biggest issue right now is with Fernando is the king and the queen card.
They're so
Yeah,
powerful.
those cards are
Those
really
need to
strong.
get either toned down, toned down, like drastically toned down, actually.
So Pancakes,
Yeah.
tell me how you stay on points and never leave.
So right, when you're playing Fernando, your number one goal is you take a whole lot of damage. Right, you get down to about a quarter HP, and then you pop your shield. And usually in the game, you get a card like Headstrong, Field Dressing, things like that just give you HP back. Field Dressing drops health drops, which you just run around and pick up, and the team just has to try to kill you. But now that Fernando is one of those characters that's really, really good and takes a lot of focus to kill him. But once he pops the shield and the shield's down, you kill him, right? Like, there's just nothing he can do. And once you get to, like, level when do you get to blue? 3? If you get King or Queen of the Hill, you're just not going to die no matter what. Even if his shield's down, because it gets so much HP off of him, and the HP that comes back is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
How much is it? Like 150 a second?
Yep.
That's a lot
per
of
second. Per second.
Yeah, per
Yeah.
second. That's a lot of
You
health.
basically just cut, for instance, Barrick's damage in half.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
he's getting it per second, and Barrick can only actually cut it in almost a third, because Barrick can only shoot him once every, second and a half, 2 seconds?
Yeah.
So-
probably.
I mean, it's 750 HP 5. I mean,
Pretty
it's
much.
750 HP 5. If you're an HP 5 person, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if they want to put that in line, they can leave the health value, but I think if they made to like a second and a half to 2 seconds, that would be fine.
Yeah,
Make it
pretty
regeneration
strong.
slowly, but I mean, it's better than nothing, obviously.
I think Queen of the Hill could use a little bit of a nerf, but King of the Hill's fine. It's not. I mean, it's a strong card, right, for point capture, but it's not. It's
Mhm.
not Queen of the Hill. It's just the regen you get back from Queen of the Hill is what makes it so strong.
But when you get Queen and King of the Hill, you just don't die.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just if you were able to get both of those, the game would just be over completely. There's just no killing that guy.
Cool.
But-
Alright, well, I guess that covers Fernando. And Field Dressing, which we just had in this past game, is quite a good card. In the sense that we were fighting and fighting and fighting. Then our man Black, he got Field Dressing on his Fernando, because it was the only of the reasonable cards that he picked. And it kept him alive on the point, and then it kept all of us full health once we were able to capture the point, because we just ran around him picking up all the health that he was dropping, and it's fantastic. Yes, the enemy can pick up the drops as well, but they also, A, have to know he's dropping them, and 2, pay attention to where they're dropping while he's trying to burn their faces off.
What's the base amount though for HP drops? Is it actually
500.
500 or
500.
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
believe.
for base? Okay.
Also-
if it was lower and they had this card, that would be retarded.
I saw someone say in chat, field dressing, the enemies can pick up the HP drops. That is correct. But you control where the HP drops go, right? You look where you want them to drop.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Wherever
had
you're
to start
looking is
counting.
where they're going to go.
And they drop very
So you-
consistently when you're on there?
Yeah, every 5 seconds.
Okay.
So if you slowly count, you can actually flip around and shoot them backwards behind you.
Yep. And
Okay,
you
so
shoot
good
them
Fernandos will know how to keep their HP 5s to themselves.
Yep. Exactly.
Or to the team. Yeah.
Yeah, or to the
to
team.
Yep.
Okay. Well, so Fernando's gotten a bit stronger. Kind of sideways.
He hasn't got stronger. He's the same, just less damage at the beginning.
Okay.
He's still going to do a lot of damage in the end game.
He's still going to be able to
It's-
tank a ton.
He's still good. Oh yeah, yeah. He's still going to be the same Fernando that's unkillable.
Cool. Alright, so on to Grok. New, Sow the Seed, epic. It's a weapon card. You have a 4% chance to spawn a healing totem at the target's feet. And 4% chance of constantly shooting them is pretty good. So,
That makes no sense to me.
you
It's
spawn a
like-
healing totem at their
Yeah.
feet for you.
Yeah, it's a question of whether it's like enemy. If it's only enemies, it's going to be kind of awkward because I don't know why I would want to spawn a healing totem on my enemy. I mean, obviously,
Chain
they're
lightning
close by
cards
me.
that,
like chain
group
lightning,
them
yeah, but it's
in
kind of
a
like an
card
awkward
form.
thing. I mean,
It'd be really
obviously,
funny if you're like
if
chain lightning with Grok, and then suddenly like 5 healing totems just go down everywhere.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that would proc it, but yeah, it's an interesting
This
card.
is high res.
It's an epic card. Like looking at his other epic cards, it's kind of. I mean, heat lightning
you
rod.
combine
I
it
mean,
with
there's
his card that's arc lightning that lets you target your totem with chain lightning and let it bounce off of it.
that's a legendary though.
That's
Like,
legendary. So if you combine it with
that's
that,
like-
I can see that
yeah.
being good.
Yeah, it really depends on how
Otherwise,
that works.
it's very
If you could also do it on your allies, like if I could target my Fernando from a distance if he needs a heal, like because what I was doing last time,
Who's crunching?
Yeah, I don't
Alright,
know.
I forgot.
Yeah, I would just sit there and go in and ghost walk a lot of the times, just to make sure I would take no damage, drop a heal at low HP for my tank or whoever's getting the point, and then try to stay in there.
I can see the point of dropping it at the
I mean,
target's feet,
if
though.
I
It lets you
could-
close distance and fight them at their terms, so it makes them a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, you're sitting on the point. Oh, granted, it makes you choose now because you're sitting on the point and you're shooting somebody, and then suddenly a healing point drops on your opponent that's outside of the ring. Or you're like, do I go? Do we have the team comp for that? And so, it versus if it dropped on himself, then it would just make him more unkillable. And so, like, imagine if you're Grok on the point and people are trying to come in, and you're just constantly spawning healing totems because you have this luck out the ass
Well,
that you
that
constantly
card-
get 4%.
That card is only going to be picked depending on like the card. Again, are you going to make him healing support or are you going to make him damage? Because
Right.
Well,
if you
now,
don't get the
keep
healing
it-
cards, you're probably not gonna. You might not even get that.
Well, let's keep in mind this is an epic card. You'll get it at level
Yeah.
4, right? So you'll know
Yeah.
what build you're doing by
Yeah.
that time.
By then, you'll have an idea. Okay, what am I going for? Am I hoping for increased radius, or what am I doing here? So you'll know whether you want that card. It's a question. Like, it depends.
My concern is if you hit a target and you get locked up to 4% and you drop multiple, does the healing stack?
Healing doesn't stack. The healing
I
totals,
doubt
I
it.
don't believe.
No, I
stack.
don't think so.
I don't think the healing stacks. Yeah.
I
Because
also don't know if you can drop
I've
multiple ones either.
Well, there's a card that he has. If you get below 30% HP, you drop a healing totem. I've had a healing totem like on me, and then got below 30% and dropped another healing totem. There's no increased healing when you're stacked together.
Okay.
They're just
Well,
two
I was
totals.
gonna say about the sowing seeds thing. So I guess if you can drop 2 on yourself, then theoretically it could drop multiple healing totems about. If it procced enough. If you get does he get that? Yes, he does. Where you get your cards have an 80% higher chance to proc.
44
I've never
sight,
seen
forethought. Yeah, 40%
Yeah.
more experience, and your other cards recharge 80% faster.
Okay, it's just recharge, not chance to proc. There was
Yeah.
somebody else that's got that one. I think it's Cassie that's got the chance to proc card.
That's
Sky.
Sky has it. Sky has a chance to proc. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Because
Sky.
hers are a lot of like low percentage. Hers are like 12% chance to slow for 3 seconds. Chance to disarm. Chance to do lower damage. She's like, she's.
Yeah.
If you're
Okay.
going for the in hand, you might.
Cool.
want
So
that.
Sky's got that one.
Catalyst by Sky. Yep.
All right, so on to Pip.
Otherwise, yeah.
This is what we really want to know because Pip is arguably. People like to argue that he's the most overpowered character in the game, mostly because he's got AOE shots, and that makes it a lot easier to hit you, etc. So he's got 3 new cards, and none of these address the ones that are going on right now. So we'll go ahead and see what happens first. Ambush Epic. Weapon. It's a weapon card, so it affects your auto attacks. Deals 60% increased damage to enemies on the capture point. I don't like that. All right, continuing on. Caustic Epic weapon damage deals 4% of your target's current health. Fixed an issue where the apostrophe in the description was showing a black box. Okay, but it's a new card that they already fixed an issue with, so that's good. 4% of your target's current health is good. It's not one of those killer cards, so it's not like it's 5% of your total health or anything like that. Anyway, on to his next one. Acidic Ooze, Legendary. Adhesive. Enemies inside adhesive take 100 damage every second. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, it's legendary. It's legendary though,
that's
so
already there.
we'll
That's
let it be
already
legendary
legendary, and it
because
doesn't
maybe
have
he's
to
building an adhesive build where he's going like 40%
Yeah.
chance to do increased damage with people in your adhesive, other adhesive cards that I don't really pay attention to.
I
What?
don't even see all these changes. What the fuck?
Yeah, some of them I'm not saying.
Reload
Are you
your
sure you're
page,
not
Demon.
looking at the old stuff? Because that was already out.
Then
That
send me
card's
the
already
link,
been out,
Trevor.
Yeah, that card's out. That's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even see it.
Whatever.
So how have you been following me this whole time? I've just been scrolling down.
It's the same shit.
It's actually disappeared. I just reloaded the page and it disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They removed it before I even had a chance to talk about it.
Oh, so
It actually, I just reloaded the page and it's gone.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
All right, so they got rid of that card, so we can just go ahead and throw that one out the window. Yay!
It's in the
Before they
game.
ninja that shit.
That's funny. Oh, they heard us talking about it and they were like, "Go, Lord, just get rid of it."
Except it's
now-
already a card.
Golf clap.
That's why they got rid
Yeah,
of it.
the card's in the game right now. Acidic is in the game.
Okay, and then maybe it was in the game already?
Yeah,
was.
that's what
Just-
that's
what
why
people
they
were
don't
trying to
get
say.
it wasn't supposed to be there.
Okay,
'Cause they
it
already
just
had
went,
it.
maybe it was just copied over from previous patch notes.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's
Compared
okay.
to his
Yeah, it is
other
already.
legendary
I just have never
cards,
gotten Acidic Ooze. I must not have it yet.
I
It
got it.
wasn't, yes, it was actually there. I wish I'd screenshotted it before I had reloaded the page. Oh well. It was there. Element even vouching for it.
It was
Alright.
there. I had it as well. So
Ruckus, turbocharger, reduce movement speed from 50% to 30. What did that deal with? Just that was his movement
That's his
speed one.
escape.
That's
his
just
escape.
his-
That was
Okay,
just his
all
base
it is
movement
is
speed. It made him pretty freaking fast. I got that a few times, and it's fun, and it's really hard to hit him because he's just running circles around you, shooting you with infinite.
This kind of needed
bullets.
to happen to Sky. With Sky's update, this needed to happen to Sky.
Lethal dose increased from common to rare. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if
that was
Oh,
that
yeah,
was like
that's
a level 1. If you got that at draw, it was like the dream. Like lethal dose was like the
I mean,
number
it
one.
literally doubled or tripled your damage for your bomb.
Yeah, it was pretty
Uh,
insane.
Damage and a little over a half because it did 320. Your bomb does 500, so 320 over 500 is.
Almost
I
double
mean,
your
at the
damage.
end, it's pretty much 800 damn. I mean, it's you're doing a lot of deeps.
Nice.
And they
Nope.
changed it to rare, so like that's gonna give you like you're either gonna go for that or you're gonna go for re-entry. That's kind of unless you get like a really lucky draw.
It
and
was
you get two
essentially
rares.
64% extra damage.
I'm still gonna go re-entry though. Like I wouldn't go anywhere else. So
All right. Any miscellaneous things that are useful? Just
It looks like
various
Fernando
things.
got a little bit broke. Nerf actually at the very end added a small delay on backlash.
What was that?
At the very end of the miscellaneous. Something about delay on backlash. I think that's Fernando, isn't it?
added a small
Backlash.
delay on backlash, preventing it from dealing damage too quickly. It just added a delay so it doesn't do damage like right away, like the very second.
Wait,
Oh,
backlash is one where he hits you with the shield, right?
Yeah, no. That's when. Okay, yeah, no. That actually that's a good change for him. So right, backlash is an ability where when you have your shield up, it does when they shoot the shield, it does cone damage in front of them.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what that is. It was like real strong. Like if you were in front of him and shooting him, you were gonna die, not him.
Pretty much. It basically gave a flame to his shield because you're shooting
Yeah,
him.
basically. Yep, that's basically what it was. That's a pretty good change, actually. I didn't even
Okay,
see
that is a good change. I like that one. Fixed an issue where some cameras would clip through the walls. That's good. Anyway, so to summarize, to sum it up in about 5 seconds, let's see. Barrett got a buff, Pip got a nerf, Sky got a buff, and Buck got a nerf. More a sideways change. And then Sky's pretty much the same. They just added some cards, various things like that. I guess Cassie I meant Cassie.
Cassie's
Cassie got
cards
kind
got
of
nerfed.
a nerf due to
Cassie
the
got
fact
hit
that
a
a bunch
little
of her cards moved up. So that'd be a nerf for
I think
Cassie.
it's kind of a buff to Cassie's early game. A lot of her common cards being moved to rare makes her get stronger common cards.
True. That could also help. So we'll label that one kind of sideways still. Then Fernando
Like
got
that just increases the likelihood that you're going to get lifesteal at level 1. which is
yeah,
ridiculous.
that's kind of a big buff if it works out like that. We'll have to just test that one to find out.
Well, still, I mean, they moved a couple to rares, so I mean, it's gonna take. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's good. You won't get everything right away. They'll give her some good stuff, but she won't come online as fast probably.
Wait. You mean they hit what are you talking about they hit instantly now? About Buck's turret? Was there something
From
about
what
Buck's turret?
I was looking at the forums. It's saying like it's hit scan now.
It's hit scan now on his turret?
That's what
Are you
Drago said.
dumb?
Not
Yeah,
bad.
it is. On Buckeye shotgun.
It's Buck.
Oh, Buck. Okay, I was thinking Barrack.
Okay.
God,
I thought
fucking
you said
bees.
Barrett too. I'm like, are you stupid?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm dumb. Sorry, I'm dumb on that one. So on Buck, it's hit scan on his shotgun. That's
pretty
a
much
huge.
if you hit him,
Huh.
you're going
Well, I mean, the
to hit him.
shotgun.
Yeah. If you
But-
shoot, It's gonna
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Mostly saying Buck's turret. He got a huge buff. He got a turret now too. Holy crap! Yeah. So, that's a bit of a giant buff. If it's hit scan, does that mean it'll originate not in out of the tip, and you can hit people in front of you?
Probably.
It's a Baruch. Yes, it's a
Just-
Baruch. I love it.
It makes I don't know. I don't think that's a good thing, to be honest. If he's the only character that's gonna have hit scan and every other character has to lead their shots, like that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's going to change a lot of how people play it, and also it's going to be very disorienting going from playing Buck to not playing Buck.
It'll
Mhm.
yeah, that'll be weird.
Like, if you're going to play Buck and you want to
But
play him a lot, you just
He
better
has
play him
his
constantly.
thing so much closer, right?
Yeah,
Remember?
his shots have to be a lot closer. Which
Yes,
does
they
make
halved his
sense.
distance, they halved his ranged, and they increased the spread.
Yeah, so if they are that much closer, he didn't really have great range to start with, so
I don't
Yeah.
believe no. I don't think Ruckus has hit
I
scan.
was going to say, I don't
don't
know
believe
for
so.
sure if Ruckus has
Ruckus
hit scan.
No, I think Ruckus has hit scan. I think too.
no, it's not.
I
I
don't
know.
know. I don't play.
It's very
Ruckus.
close, probably, but not.
His
not
shots are
really
very
enough.
fast. Yeah,
It's
Grok
close,
has
but
hit
not
scan
yet.
because
Well,
it's a
yeah,
laser
it's a
beam.
laser.
Rock, yeah.
He's basically holding a giant lightsaber that stops whenever it hits the first person.
Sorry.
Considering
It's
that there are
lightning
only
bolt.
8 characters in the game right now, I don't think it's too terrible of them to make a new mechanic when they still have plenty of time to make new characters that can utilize it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great time to test it, so I'm not going to throw it out the window. Well, cool. I guess that'll wrap up the patch note discussion, at least for the VOD side of things. Thank you for joining us for this lovely thing. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the questions, comments, concerns section, where I will probably respond to most of them, depending on what you ask. If you're just a complete jerk, I will probably answer you back anyway. The way I am. Thanks for watching.